What's up guys, welcome back to another video. I'm super excited about this one because it's my first ever video in the brand new house and office. So I'm super excited about that, but that's not why we're here right now. Let's go ahead and get straight into the video. So I'm gonna be giving you 3 hacks that are gonna completely change the game for you in regards to holding your trades longer. Because if you're anything like me, when I first started trading and up to, I wanna say, a year and a half into the game, I had a lot of trouble, holding trades. And that was because honestly, I was consuming a lot of educational information. And what I mean by that is oftentimes when you're new to trading, you don't really understand the downside of trading. You may know about it, but you don't truly understand. You know you can lose money, but it doesn't really hit you until it happens. And usually what happens after you take that first huge loss, which for me was a $50,000 loss, my second or third month trading after I had just made it all, right? That was my, welcome to the market moment. And from then on out, what I did was I started consuming a bunch of information, and then I learned that there were so many things to be afraid of in the market, right? I didn't know about support and resistance. I didn't know about EMAs and all these indicators and volume and whatever the case may be, liquidity and traps and the market makers. I didn't know about any of that. So what happened was, what I thought was actually helping me, which it was, because information is good, but it was also hurting me at the same time, because then when I got into trades, all I would think about is all these things that could potentially cause me financial harm. And in trading, you can't trade afraid. So that brings me to point number 1. You can't hold trades because you are afraid, right? You're afraid of losing money, right? You're afraid of being wrong. You're afraid of going from green to red. Or maybe you're so afraid that you take profit early because you don't want to potentially give back gains, right? Or maybe you're trying to fight back green from a series of losses, so you're just like, okay, I'll take what I can get, right? Because I'm so afraid of continuing on my losing streak. I'm just gonna take what I can get, right? One thing you have to think about is, why you feel the way you feel, right? So why are you scared, right? Well, what makes you get into a trade, believe that, okay, I'm getting in here because I believe it's going to go here, right? And then once you get in, now you're afraid. What happened to that prior, what happened to that thought process, that trading plan, that recognition you had before you got into the trade? Well, I'll tell you, money is now on the line. And oftentimes, the more money you have on the line, the more afraid you are. It's like going to the casino. Let's say you go to the casino and you're playing blackjack, you put $5 down, whatever, just $5. But then you put $500 down, okay, that's a lot of money. Now you're sweating, now you're praying, now you're doing all this kind of stuff, right? You always want to go into a trade with confidence, right? You don't want to go into a trade with fear. You never want to do that kind of stuff, right? Because that's only going to block out what you actually need to be focusing on. So Isaac, how can I hold trades longer? I keep selling early. I'm afraid as soon as I get into the trade. What I want you to do is simply decrease your position size. That is number 1. Decrease your position size, because once you do that, you naturally feel a lot more relaxed. And not only decrease your position size, I want you to decrease your position size to a number that isn't a lot of money to you. And I'll spin this back on me. When I was trading, I had $30,000 in my account, but I was going 20, 25K per trade. I was taking profit at like 5, 10, 15%. Right? 20% was a great trade, but 5, 10, 15%. And I'm talking about individual trades. And this is back when I'm trading options. So this is the example I'm using. What I realized is that every time I would get out of trade, I was leaving a ton of money on the table. I'm talking about days where I made $5,000 or $3,000. I should have made, $20,000, $30,000, 100% trades, but I'm taking profit at 5, 10, 15% simply because I am risking too much money, and because of that, my mentality is all off. I'm focusing on the P&L now instead of focusing on the actual chart itself. That's the money maker. I had to evaluate, okay, what are my goals? My goal, I want to be a multi-million-dollar trader, and what I'm doing now is not consistent, or the behavior I'm expressing now in my trading is not going to get me to where I want to be. Number 2, this is a hack that helped me a lot. I understood that the normal person cannot be a trader. Being normal meant feeling or having these emotions that normal people would have in these kind of situations. Oh, you win a great trade. Oh yeah, I'm jumping up and down. Yeah. Or you know, I lose a really bad trade and I'm crying and I'm sick to my stomach and I'm yada, yada, yada. I couldn't be like that. I understood that I had to be a robot, right? I had to be a robot emotionally. And the way I was a robot emotionally was by having an unwavering trading plan, right? And I'm not talking about a strategy, I'm talking about trading plan. There's a difference. There's a strategy and setups you look for and stuff you look to execute on a daily basis. And then there's a trading plan for a specific play that you're about to get into. And here's what I did, and it helped me, oh my gosh, it helped me so much. So before you get into a trade, you need to have your levels, you need to have your entries, you need to know where you're gonna look to scale in, where you're gonna look to scale out. You need to have your stop loss. You need to have everything about that trade already mapped out before you get into the trade. Some of the adjustments you have to make in your trading will have to be adjustments that don't directly correlate to you immediately making money after you make those adjustments. Some of the adjustments you have to make have to be because you're trying to get right mentally rather than immediately get to the money, right? The decision I made to have an unwavering trading plan, I knew that in some situations it may be best for me just to sell early, right? But the problem with that was, back then, I couldn't tell the difference between me selling because it was the right decision to make and me selling because I was emotionally tied to this play. So therefore, I had to have a strict rules like, Isaac, you're not getting out unless these things happen. And I wrote it down before my trades. And if those things didn't happen, I did not sell my position. And I did that until I was sure that I wasn't biased and I was sure that I was disciplined and I had my emotions in check enough to hold plays based off what the price action said versus holding plays or not holding plays because it was an emotional decision. Number 3, and lastly, you need to stick with the same symbols, stick with the same tickers. For me personally, I trade futures, I trade NQ and CL. That's the NASDAQ and that's crude oil. I stay right there. You know why? Because I studied those tickers long enough to where I know how they move. I'm used to their movement, whether they move fast or slow. I'm used to the setups they present. Therefore, I have a very, very high level of confidence when I trade those symbols. It's hard to have confidence in something that you don't really do a lot or see a lot. And I think that the best way to increase that confidence is, you know, being familiar with something, right? Even for me, when I traded options, I stayed with SPY, I stayed with Tesla, and I stayed with Amazon. Those are my big 3 right there. And I was confident in that. Now, that doesn't mean I didn't trade anything else, right? But in the beginning, like I realized I had to, bro, stay here, stay where you're comfortable. Even not only tickers, but maybe even trading setups as well. You don't need a ton of trading setups. For me personally, I have about 3 or 4 setups that I just know make me money. And there's one in particular that I trade all the time. And I'm sure, look, if you're in the inner circle or if you're in the Discord and you've seen me play this setup, I want you to put it in the comments down below. What setup am I referring to right now? I guarantee you that you guys already know what setup it is because I trade it all the time. So before we end, let's do one more recap really quick. Number 1, I want you to decrease your position size and do it for a while. Be consistent with that position size and then get used to having that mental freedom when you're in those trades. Focus on the charts, not the P&L. Number 2, unwavering trading plan, right? You need to have a few things, or you need to have your entire trading plan already lined up, right? What you're going to do if this happens, what you're going to do if this happens. And once you get into a trade, if none of those things happen, then you don't have a reaction. You don't sell unless one of those things happen. This is to instill discipline and to get you used to holding your trades for the duration of your plan and not selling early. Number 3, get familiar with with 1 or 2 symbols and maybe 1 or 2 setups, and do that for a very long time until you get the confidence to where you know that, okay, yeah, I see this setup, I know this symbol, there's no reason I should sell this position early because I have confidence in what I'm looking at and doing right now, right? You do those 3 things, I promise you, it'll change the game for you. Promise you, absolutely. I appreciate you tapping in. That's all I have for this video. If you don't mind, do me a favor and like, subscribe, and I can't wait to see you guys next time. If you're not a part of my free Discord, look down below. I got a link down there. Free Discord. I trade live every single day, but you can definitely join up for free. We have free live sessions on Wednesdays, and if you're interested in a 12-month mentorship with myself and the rest of my team, we have an inner circle mentorship that we launched. It's going great. People are making money. People are learning. I love that for them. And that's all I got for this video. So I will see you guys next time.